Hello. I have a stack of tarot cards here. Split them in half and draw the top one. Let's see what it is. The devil. Now, to you, you might be thinking, oh, he pulled the devil. That's pretty bad. But to me, this means a lot more than the fact that it's the devil card. I actually cannot believe I just split the deck in half and the top card was the devil card. I'm not someone who believes an insane amount in. Yeah, I believe in the supernatural and stuff, but I don't go out my way to be like, oh yeah, ghosts are 100% real, or tarot cards or fate is 100% real. I don't necessarily believe it, but I also don't disbelieve it, because there are some weird coincidences that happen sometimes, and you're just, how does this happen? So let me explain the importance of the fact that I just pulled the Devil Tarot, Major Arcana, the 15 Major Arcana, uh, just now. And I'm surprised because I didn't intentionally do this. But last night I was laying in bed. Actually, I should probably tell you what date it is. Currently it's the 15th of April, but this video is for the 14th of April. Because I was too late last night, so I couldn't make the video. So this video is about the 14th, so last night. It's currently 10:19 a.m. My name's Fond, or my real name is Carson Melton. Doesn't really matter. But back to the story. The reason this is important is last night I was laying in bed, probably about 9:30. I turned off all my electronics to prepare to go to bed. You don't want any of the LED lights, whatever, in your eyes before bed. And so I decided to bring my tarot cards, just to, not to really read tarots, but just to look at tarot cards, pull one out every now and then and just look at the meanings. And, I pulled out one for myself, and then I was like, you know what? I'm going to pull out one for Un. And I didn't really think anything. I didn't think like Un's present. I just said, this one's for Un. And I mixed them up, randomly pulled one out, and I pulled out the devil facing upwards. I was like, that's not good. So then I put it back in the deck, and I reshuffled it. I was like, all right, this one is for Ham It Up. And next I pulled out the devil faced up. So then I was like, okay, and this can't keep happening. So I pulled another one, and it was for Jan. I think I got like the Page of Cups or something. So it was not the devil card. But the reason this is weird is because there's 78 cards in that deck, and I didn't know where this card was. And I was thinking about talking about this potentially today, but I probably wouldn't have. And then I pulled out a card randomly beside me, and it's the devil faced up. That means out of like 5 tarot cards I pulled, 3 of them have been the devil card pulled up. That is, what does it mean? Hell if I know. But it means something, that's for sure. Don't know what though. That's kind of spooky. Obviously the devil is a card of, somewhat violence. You put in a lot of efforts, not getting stuff in return. It's not necessarily a good card. I got it 3 times. Not necessarily for myself, but I pulled it 3 times. I don't know what that means. Maybe it's like a group thing, because that last one, I didn't pull this one for any meaning, I pulled 2. I pulled one for Un, one for Ham, and that one I guess would have been pulled for myself because I just pulled it without any meaning. And all 3 of them got the devil facing the same ways. Maybe that's like a group meaning, Maybe all of us are like going through turmoil or something. I don't know. Weird. Anyway, I just wanted to do that just for the heck of it, and it just happened. it was a 1 in 78 chance that it would have been the devil card, and even more so that it was faced the right way. Um, so that's kind of weird. Anyway, as I said, this is a video diary for yesterday, so it will be the 14th of April, though it's technically the 15th. Yesterday I went out, and I woke up, did my normal thing. I walked. I took a little bit of a different route, and just to test my GPS on my watch, and it does not matter what you do, the GPS on my watch sucks. Like I might do a mile and a half bike ride, and it'll be like, oh yeah, congratulations, you've done 0.3 miles. That's literally what it did to me yesterday. Now, once again, it's not like it's that big of a deal, but it kind of sucks whenever you're like trying to keep up with stuff. And it's just like, no, you know what? I don't think so. So now I've decided I'm going to have to, I don't know where my pin is. Here it is. And I've decided I have to more or less manually track everything, which is a little bit more inconvenient, but so be it. Well, I also bought a rolling whiteboard because I'm more of a, in terms of doing stuff and keeping myself on track, I'm more of like a visual person because there's no one besides myself to hold me accountable. So I got a big rolling whiteboard. It'll probably here like next Tuesday or something. That's going to come in. And whenever it comes in, it's going to, I'm going to put up in my room, and I'm just basically use it as like a big reminder of things I want to get done or things I'm doing, keep up with myself. That's to be nice. I always kind of wanted a big whiteboard. Just write on it, I don't know. I've always just kind of wanted one. But no, yesterday was pretty good. Started in the morning. It was still raining, which is kind of nasty. I came home. I did some D&D work, which I'm going to do after this video, which is pretty good. I got most of the technical stuff done. I don't think I did much more that day. I didn't do much yesterday. I did a lot because afterwards I did that. Of course, I took a shower, cooked breakfast. Oh, that's important. So my original concoction of plain Greek yogurt with fruits and granola was awful, but I learned if I eat it separately, it's not that bad. So it's kind of like if I eat the yogurt for a bite or two, and you have to take small bites because it's really, really bitter. So you take small bites, and then you like add some granola in your mouth later, or maybe you like throw a strawberry or a raspberry or something in there. I also ate some like actual almonds at the same time. Also, I think the issue with the Greek yogurt mitts, whatever you want to call it, originally was the fact that it was super chewy due to the strawberries, blackberries, and red raspberries. Because those three fruits have like that weird seedy texture to it. So when you eat it, it's like really chewy. You really just gotta swallow, You can't just keep chewing. You'll never get anywhere. But I think that was what the issue was. I still don't like strawberries too much, but yesterday I learned that I've started to acquire a little bit of a taste for greens. I'm less like used to when I'd put a green in my mouth, instantly I'd be like, ugh, ugh. But now it's less like that and more in the lines of like, okay, this is not that bad. I don't necessarily like it, but like I'm kind of on board for it. So I'm slowly changing my mindset away from anti-veggies and fruits to more like pro-veggies and fruits. So that's pretty good. Then for lunch, I just had I think I had an apple and some peanut butter. I think that's what I had. And this is the best part of yesterday. So it's been raining like nonstop here for like ages, like every day. It's been like raining, storming. Like the day before yesterday, we had, as I said, we had tornado warnings, like scary stuff. But yesterday, for the first time, it was finally sunny. Oh my god. The fact that it was sunny is just so exceptionally good for me. I finally managed to go outside and do like an evening like exercise. I got my bike. I wore shorts, short sleeve shirt, it wasn't cold, so I had to like wear my jacket. I just rode my bike up to a park, walked a few miles. I even ran a mile. Keep in mind, I don't like running very much, but I ran a mile. I ended up doing it in about 8.5 minutes. I'm not where I want to be, but also my heart rate was very high, so I don't think I can push myself any faster until I get like more endurance, or I'll end up hurting myself. Um, what else happened? Wasn't much on dress. It was a pretty normal day. And then later I came home. I was about to cook dinner. I don't know what I was about to cook. I was about to cook something, but the family was going out to eat, so I decided I'd go with them. We ended up going to the next town over. So it was like, by the time I got my food, it was like way past at the time I normally want to eat by, which is like 6, 7 at the latest. So I ended up going there. I ended up getting like, I tried a salad. A salad was all right, but I didn't really like. It was like a raspberry vinaigrette, which I didn't really like very much. So I didn't eat the salad. However, I wasn't really against like the texture of lettuce. I used to be super anti-lettuce, so that's a good sign. I also tried, it was a fried mushroom, but that was the first time I've ever tried a mushroom in my life. It wasn't that bad. I don't know if I really liked it, but it wasn't that bad. It was all right. I liked it all right. But I felt kind of bad. I ended up getting chicken Alfredo. I felt kind of bad eating so late. Like it's almost like I felt guilty that I was eating instead of like just staying home and cooking something for myself, and eating at like closer on time. I did save myself though, because I didn't eat all of it. Usually when I go to a restaurant, I feel like I need to clean my plate. I don't know, just naturally. I didn't eat all of it though. I ate like a quarter, maybe half of it, and I saved the rest. So I think I saved myself from eating too much, and that'll be like the rest of my dinner tonight. I'll eat that, then I'll have some corn, maybe some broccoli or something. I don't know, but I'll have that for dinner. So I think I actually saved myself a little bit on that regards. I don't know why. Right now I'm trying to talk, and it just doesn't feel like the words are coming out right. Like I'm talking, but like I feel like almost imagine if you're talking to someone in a social situation and like you're not actually feeling awkward, but the thought of you being awkward is like making you actually be a little bit awkward. I feel like the way I'm talking right now is kind of awkward. For what reason, I don't know. But for some reason I just feel like things are coming out like my social ability right now. I'm talking to a camera, it's not socializing. Is not on par. I feel like for some reason it's like I'm being awkward for no reason. I don't know why. I just feel this way. I don't know why I stopped talking. Anyway, as I suggested, there is a little bit of a topic I want to talk about. I want to talk about the importance of patience whenever you're trying to change your life or something. Doing anything, changing your life, making a new habit, starting or following a goal, anything. There have been several occasions where this madness that's in my head has really became really bad, and I've decided to, I talked about it a little bit before, but I've decided to do something about it. I decided to make a change, address it, do something to try and help the insanity that my brain is sometimes, and like how many problems it makes me feel like I have. And I've done a lot of things kind of like this, but the problem is I wasn't patient enough. I would rush things. I would add too much stuff on my plate. Virtually, I'd overwhelm myself because I'd like give myself so much stuff to do. And so thankfully, through all those attempts, I learned an extremely valuable lesson that if you haven't learned yet, I hope you'll take my words for like just face value, I guess. or for more value, whatever you want to do. But you should definitely think about it. But the problem is, I had a lot of times, I assume others did too, is you would end up giving yourself a lot of stuff to do, a lot of goals, and you would like work towards them, but you would work towards too many things, and your mind would feel like you had so much on your plate. Then you'd form like awful time anxiety, and it'd just be a bunch of a mess. So thankfully this time I'm managing to give myself less stuff to do, but focus, like right now, like there's a lot of things I want to do, but right now I'm really hard focusing on just, building eating habits and exercising habits, as well as doing a little bit of D&D work, because I just got to do that because I run a game. So I'm taking it nice and slow. And there's a second part to having patience that's deeper than just don't overwhelm yourself. For example, for me right now, I'm exercising. I'm just walking, running sometimes, cycling. But sometimes I'll look at the time it's taking me and like what pace I'm going at, and I'll be like, okay, this is not good enough. And then I'll start trying to push myself farther, and then I'll start creating these time goals in my head. It's not a bad idea to have like time goals or to have goals for your exercise or whatever. You need to, because you need to meet certain standards to either lose weight, gain muscle, whatever you're doing. And it's nice to see you beating goals. But there's a problem whenever you get so fixated on increasing how fast you're walking or running, or what your pace or heart rate is, or how much you do. It starts feeling more like a job. And it feels more like a chore than like, hey, I'm gonna go outside and I'm gonna walk in the morning. That's nice. But instead it's like, okay, I have to go outside and I need to walk, and I have to make sure I'm going this fast or I'm a disgrace. And then you start, whenever you don't meet that, or whenever you start realizing, this sucks, you'll start to lose interest. And then that becomes a very easy pathway to stop progressing down the path you want to go and forcing you to relapse. So that's a different form of patience. You need to have patience in terms of, whatever goals you're going towards. Like it's good to set up like goals and things you want to reach, but if you're not always reaching that, if you're like doing half and half, or if you have somewhere you want to be, but you're not there, or you're not getting there fast enough, just take it slow. It's a process. Don't go out every day and feel like you have to meet this certain requirement. Otherwise, you'll stop enjoying whatever you're trying to do, and then it'll become a chore, and then you'll hate doing it, and then you'll eventually stop doing it because you don't enjoy it. Unless for some reason your reason for doing it is like so much more hateful than the hate you have for doing this chore, then you might be able to still do it. But for most people, I think, you'll end up stopping. And then once you stop, you'll be even more disappointed in yourself. Then you'll probably start to relapse. And next thing you know, you're back to where you were in the first place. And a few months down the road, you're going to be having the same issues you were having, where you want to change your life. But now you think to yourself, oh, I'm not good enough. I couldn't do it last time. I'm not good enough. And that is a very dangerous death spiral. You do not want to be inside that death spiral, because once you get on that loop, it just gets harder and harder and harder, and more impossible. So you need to have patience in both terms of how much stuff you give yourself and how much lenience you have for yourself. Now, I'm not saying if you have a goal to lose like 20 pounds, I'm not saying always do low intensity workout, but I'm saying if you start out low intensity and then you start raising it slowly, don't feel bad when you have a goal and it's taking you a long time to get to it. Take your time and get there. Otherwise you'll end up hating it and you'll never get there. So what if it takes you a month to finally feel comfortable running? Whenever I first started cycling about 2 weeks ago, I was going up a hill, and I'd go up a hill, and I could not, a lot of people stand up on their bike to give them extra power. I could not get myself to stand up on my bike. My legs would always buckle. My legs did not have enough strength to physically stand up on my bike and pedal up a hill. I still don't really stand up and pedal up a hill, but the other day, I was like literally yesterday, I was cycling, And I stood up on a hill. Easy. It was super easy. Now, it took me, about a week and a half to get there from like slowly starting my exercises. But that's the point. It doesn't matter how long it takes you. As long as you take it nice and slow at an easy pace, eventually you'll look at yourself and realize, oh, wow, I can just do it now. Like yesterday, whenever I stood up, it wasn't hard at all. Yesterday, there was this, and let me tell you, there's, for different goals, there are different sorts of pride. But I've done it before. And yesterday I did it as well, even better. And there's this intense sense of pride whenever there's this giant hill in front of you while you're biking, and you just start pedaling like a madman, and you literally power all the way. Like you go super fast up the hill. Imagine, it felt like I was like Dash from The Incredibles, but on a bike, That's how fast my legs are. And you're going uphill, and once you get to the top, you start slowing down, but you keep going. And then eventually you get to the top, and you're super wore out, You just did a bunch of anaerobic exercise, and you probably had a bunch of cells die in your body because you weren't breathing right. But, it's nice. It's rewarding. You're like, I've done this. And, eventually, like, I couldn't do that at first. Now, I never stopped riding my bike, but I couldn't have got up that hill at that speed at first. Like yesterday, and another thing is, you'll end up, once you realize you can do stuff, you'll realize it doesn't matter if other people see you, if you're happy or not. Like, I'm on the main road, and in my small town, there's literally no one driving to see me go up the hill like I did. So literally only myself saw it. And it hurt, yes, but it sure as hell felt good once I finished it. But if you go after that sense of pleasure or pride too early, you'll end up never reaching it. You gotta just... I think the big takeaway is you need to care enough to do something, but you don't need to care enough to where it becomes a problem. Like, let's take me. I need to care enough to wake up at 6 a.m. every morning and go outside and start exercising. I need to care enough whenever school lets out and everyone's home to go outside when it's sunny, start riding my bike, do a run or a walk, whatever. I need to care enough to do that. But I don't need to care so much that whenever I look down at my little watch and I see, my pace is 9 minutes, half a mile, so I'm going to make an 18-minute mile, I don't need to look down and see that and be disappointed and feel like I'm not good enough. Because if you do that, if you care that much, you'll end up bullying yourself. And for some people, it might make you go harder, but they'll also make you go harder before you're ready for it, and they'll make you end up hating it. It'll feel like a chore. You'll wake up in the morning and be like, oh, God, I really don't want to do this, And that works for anything, Maybe you hate reading, but your goal is to read 50 pages a day. But then you're like, oh, I'm not reading exactly 50 pages a day. Then you know what? So what? You'll work your way up. Start smaller. So have patience in how much stuff you give yourself, and have patience in how long it takes you to achieve your goals, at least to a point you want to meet. Because if you set up, don't set up deadlines. Because if you set up deadlines, you're gonna hate it. Maybe set up deadlines after you've already formed habits, but whenever you're first starting something, don't set up deadlines. It's going to feel like a chore, a job. And make sure you do it every day, but don't be like, I have to make this every day, for example, I forced myself to at least walk 5 miles a day, which is about 10,000 steps. Now, the thing is, I usually go way over that. And especially now it's been sunny, like yesterday, I did nearly 9 miles of cycling, walking, and running, But I do 5 miles at least. But the thing is, since I only do that, I'm like, okay, 5 miles ain't that bad. Sorry, isn't that bad. Ain't's not a word. It isn't that bad. And then I end up doing more because I'm like, it's not that bad. So make sure, for some people, 5 miles is bad and a lot, But for me, it's not. For me, it's little. So, set yourself, maybe a mile is a little to you. Do a mile. And you're like, okay, now I've done a mile. I've met my goal. I didn't stop today if I want. But then in your head, you'll be like, but I feel like I keep going. And then you'll end up realizing you've done 3 miles. It's like that. And that's with anything, as I said. That could be literally any goal you want. You want to cook? You want to learn how to cook? Look up how to cook something. And you know what? You maybe don't get the taste right exactly, or maybe your proportions are off a little bit. You get there. Literally, it works with anything. The main takeaway is care enough to start doing something, but don't care enough to set a deadline or a hard goal for a recent time. Don't set like a deadline for a goal. Yeah, don't do that. But make sure you care enough to do it every day. Because as long as you do it every day, you'll end up progressing. So that's the main takeaway. Have patience to care enough, and have patience when you're not getting there by deadline. Anyway, thank you for watching my zoomed in video diary today. I'll make one in the evening probably, unless it's too late. I don't know. I have work to do though. So I'm going to sign off, start uploading this, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.